Downtime in the ring.
Now, sweet brother, it is good seeing you, man.
Good seeing you boys. Come on now.
Are you fucking Canadian?
No, I'm not
No.
Canadian.
Well, Ottawa?
No, it's a university in Arizona.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, is he Canadian? Oh shit. All right. Well, my bad. What is going on, Jaden Monroe? How have you been, brother? You've been busy these last couple of weeks since we've seen you last.
Yeah, very busy is a very good word, I would say. I was at the AW tapings, stuff like that, and we got 3 shows this next week coming up, so it's gonna be a really busy week too.
Yeah. So I want to pick your brain a little bit about the AEW stuff, man. How did that feel overall, being able to be a part of that?
It was awesome. I mean, I'm just so glad I got the opportunity to go. I mean, I went with Kevin Koa and Zamaya, obviously, so it was a good group to go with. And just like meeting everyone backstage is like these legendary people that I grew up watching and stuff like that is just like super surreal. And like, don't even get me started on being in the ring. Like it was insane, is what I would say.
Yeah, it definitely was. Because we had message before to try to get this interview, and you told me that you were gonna be there. So I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be cool. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then seeing you guys in the ring against the House of Black, I was like, oh fuck, dude.
Tough competition for sure. Yeah.
It's crazy with you, man, because you've been, you're very like still green technically in this. Even when we had Dom Vitali, he was like, this guy just skyrocketed through training.
I should even mention a kid like Jaden Monroe. I didn't mention him, but he's a baby. He's like less than a year experience in wrestling itself as far as actively wrestling. And I'll give him full credit. He is the person that got through our program the fastest ever in 6 years. He is a naturally gifted athlete, and he can do things that others could only wish they could physically and athletically do, and he does it with ease. And once he gets his feet under him, once he gets more experience, once he starts working with more consistently with guys with more experience than him, like he's going to be really good as well.
Probably one of the fastest people we've ever had. And the amount of praise that you get wherever you go, dude, how does that feel?
It's pretty awesome, honestly. I just think it's pretty validating for all the work I put in and everything. Dom did talk about how I kind of went through the process quicker than usual. The like Ottawa shirt I have on, I played college football out there, so I kind of went straight from all these football workouts right into wrestling. So it definitely helped out a lot, and I'm just like, I'm glad I'm receiving praise for all that stuff.
What what came about Jaden Monroe? Like, where did that mentality come from, dude? Just you coming out with the lights, the chain, the sunglasses, everything. Where did that get created?
So honestly, I was like just in my room and I was like, dude, I gotta come up with something. I need something that's gonna stick. And one of my biggest inspirations in wrestling was Mr. Perfect. He's probably my favorite wrestler of all time. He's a GOAT, and everything he does is perfect like that. And then one of my favorite football inspirations was Johnny Manziel, Money Manziel. So I kind of meshed them together almost and kind of branched out. And now it's become its own thing, but that's definitely where it started from.
I can understand the Mr. Perfect stuff. At first, when I first kind of watched a couple of your stuff coming out to the ring for the Phase 1 shows and stuff with the glasses, I always pegged you as like a Bret Hart sort of persona-ish kind of thing, but I like the culmination of everything, considering your in-ring work, your amount of detail that you put into your stuff. Even when for that Phase 1 show, when I walked up to you backstage, like, hey, we're gonna do commentary, you lit up like, ooh, hey, I'll get back to you, let me think about it and stuff like that. So you take a lot of care and thought into what you like to do and how you like to present yourself and stuff. So it's really much appreciated on my end for at the time when we were trying to like, hey guys, give us some moves, but you're like, oh, here's a background, here's what you could talk about and stuff. So you take a lot of care into that.
I do, yeah. This is kind of falls into the AEW thing. When I was there, I was like, this is kind of the same thing that we do on the indies, just at like such a bigger scale, obviously. And it's like, if I'm going to put this much attention to something I'm doing there, why wouldn't I do it at any show I'm at? You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah.
I wish a lot of people would take that mentality, dog. I wish more people would think like that, because damn, they just, especially like when Chris was trying to get notes, it's like we barely got anything for some people, and then like you were like, cool, I'm gonna actually give you guys a lot to work with, because dude, it's annoying sometimes seeing people on the indies that just, they don't care. They're like, I'll get there when I get there. And I'm like, yeah, but it's better to be prepared. At least you know you belong there. You've already felt it. And what are you, only like, what, 2 years in, 3 years in?
So my debut as Monroe was in January of this year. So 11 months.
And you fucking got booked on AEW.
So, you know,
And
man,
you fucking got,
that's prodigy. That's prodigy aura, man.
Damn, dude, that's crazy, brother. That's what hard work gets you, man. I'm proud of you, dude, because holy shit, there's a lot of people who've been doing this longer and they haven't even gotten close to that. And no hate on them, but I mean, you did it. You fast tracked. You got there, and you know, at the end of the night when you were done, you were on TV. What did you do to kind of just like take it? Did you take in that moment, or when did that finally hit that you were like, oh shit, I actually just did this?
Honestly, it was just kind of like afterwards, like just when I went back into the locker room, I looked at my phone and I just like see my grandma, my mom, all my siblings like, we just saw you on TV. And I'm like, yeah, I know, that's the goal. So that's pretty much just like seeing the outreach from everyone. I mean, people I haven't talked to in like years are like, dude, I just saw you on TV. I'm like, that's what I do. So that's
a good mentality. I like that.
The nonchalantness.
I like it.
That's money. That's money.
I fucking like it. Oh,
so to lead into that, since you had your AEW booking, as we all know, WWE ID is now a thing, and what I like to ask as of these last couple interviews is that, what are your thoughts on the whole WWE ID stuff in regards to how it can help indie talent, the independents? Some say it's beneficial, more so beneficial, but some say it's kind of like, oh, it's another monopolization. What are your thoughts on that?
I could see where people could come into it with like a negative mindset, especially because it's a big corporation, WWE, and they're kind of like dipping their hands into like almost like punk rock indie circuits. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, what are they doing? But I mean, for the wrestlers, I think it's super beneficial just because it's another opportunity. It's just another avenue to get to where we want to get. So the more the merrier, honestly.
Way more professional in your answer than what my initial thought was, because my initial thought was the people that are mad, it ain't for you. That's why you're fucking mad about it. It's for the people that actually go out there and fucking and put on a great show. That's what it's for. But I like your answer. Your answer is more professional, man.
The answers were it was kind of the same. Yours was just a little bit more colorful. So that's all I'll say.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, you're true. That's true. Overall, dude, you know, how does it feel going into 2025 now? Like what is on your bucket list, at least for 2025, you're trying to accomplish? Because you got to do it. You got to be on TV. I know you want to constantly do that, but where are you trying to go? What promotions are you trying to hit? Like, what's the game plan?
So it's super early right now for me to be talking about getting signed by WWE and stuff like that. And I know that, just being realistic, I think just this next year is going to be really important for me getting my name out there on the indies. Like, I think East Coast is a pretty big goal for me this year. Because, I mean, I've been to Mexico, Colorado, Utah, California, stuff like that. But that East Coast is really where, like, a lot of the hype is. So I think getting out there is a really big goal for me.
Really? Have you reached out to any promotions on the East Coast?
There's some out there. I'm not gonna name any names in case they don't text me back, but there's some names out there I want to work.
Cool. Cool. If you want to work out on the East Coast, I'll send you 2 people after we wrap up. They're trying to look for West Coast and like New Mexico guys and Arizona guys and all that. They want to bring the West Coast to the East Coast. So fuck it, dude.
It's me.
I'm trying to take a trip up to one of them in February. So shit, I'll see you on the plane, bro.
There you
Overall,
go.
like it's an exciting time. And when we had Baker on the podcast, I was saying that too. I was like, 2025 is going to be pivotal for a lot of these already established indie guys, and that's due to the ID program. That's due to, like, in your area, kind of like our little region of the United States, like WrestleMania is going to be there in Las Vegas. Like, that's big for a lot of the guys that we know and a lot of the places that we work with. So 2025, I mean, if you're not putting your nose to the grindstone in 2025 as a already established indie guy, like, what are you doing? You're not really doing anything at that point. You're just hoping for a miracle that probably is not going to happen unless you're absolutely ready to just give it everything you got. And I'm excited to see where you where you end up close to like December time and all of that, to see like what kind of year that you've had overall.
Yeah, honestly, I really agree with everything you just said, because one of the like principles at the training center that I train at is wrestling's a privilege, and you get out of it what you put into it. So I mean, this is a really big year coming up, and people might start coasting or whatever because they're already established, but that just leaves the door open for guys like me.
Yeah, because I mean, even if you look at like some of these names in the like in the ID program, and this will be the last little bit I'll say about that, is like, I didn't know who Cappuccino Jones was, but I do know who Jack Cartwheel is. I've gotten to meet him before. So it's like you have a whole different group of people that are super well established and that have just debuted and impressed WWE, and it goes to people like you guys with like how stacked Arizona is from just having indie talent, because you have Koa, you have Scoops, who's all over the place, you have yourself, Zamaya, Baker's really trying to push himself to get out there, and unfortunately Class in Reno. So you have all these guys, like, you know, you guys are just ready to go out and kill it this next year. And does it intimidate you a little bit with like what is expected now on the indies in just wrestling in general?
No, back when you guys were in school, if you guys had a test in a class or whatever, and you studied all week for it, you're not going to be nervous, right? Because you studied and you know it's going to be on the test. And that's honestly just kind of what the Arizona Pro Wrestling Training Center has done for me and all the guys you just listed. It's just that's what it's preparing us for, is to get signed and do everything we need to do to get signed. And then once we're there, stay there. You know what I mean? So I'm not really intimidated, just realistic.
Dog, I understand. I get what you meant, but fuck no, dude. Even when I studied all week, my anxiety still killed me, bro. I had two cops last night. They were searching for like a crackhead or something, and I'm pulling up with my groceries, and I'm like, man, they're coming to get me. I didn't even do anything wrong. Fuck, man. It's all over for me now. I'm done with the podcast. No, but I get what you mean, dude. I get what you mean. You guys have been prepared, and Dom seems like just a really good guy, a really great teacher. Like, it's awesome to see you guys thriving now and what you guys can accomplish going into this. Overall, though, like, something that I do want to start adding into a little bit in these next couple of episodes with like wrestlers is like current storytelling in wrestling. How does that inspire you to change how you have to work on the indies, or do you even watch current day? Because there are some people who just don't really monitor it. They'll like check like the dirt sheets and everything, or are you just too busy?
No, I definitely watch nowadays stuff, because I mean it's just so interesting now. And WWE has like that change in like production. They changed their production team a little bit, so it's been different the past couple months. And I really like it. The stuff doing with like camera angles, character stuff like that. It's just really intriguing, because, I mean, there was admittedly a rough patch from when I was growing up watching it, from like like 08 to 2014 ish wasn't the best, you know. So I think people are so blessed now with the product that's getting put out there. It's so much better, and the storytelling is so good. I also just watch a lot of 80s and 90s stuff just because I'm Mr. Perfect. So I kind of try and mesh today's stuff and old stuff into like a new fusion type stuff. You know what I mean?
Are we gonna see you pulling like an MJF and you're just gonna do the Ric Flair strut?
I mean,
that,
if I get paid enough, I'll do it.
yeah. So you said like this week, even though the week will have already passed when this episode comes out, that you have like 3 shows, dude. I know one for sure is gonna be in like Duke City, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it'll be Duke City on the 21st, and then back to Arizona for Pheonix Championship Wrestling on the 23rd, and then 24th, I'm going up to Vegas for FSW.
Bro, you got a cool schedule, my guy.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
It's definitely a blessing.
What are your thoughts on the growing scene in New Mexico? You being on the forefront of that, particularly like since we've all gotten a chance to go to that Rio Rancho Event Center for that first Locked In show, and just what are your thoughts based off of that show and then leading into November no way around?
It's honestly super good to see New Mexico like kind of blowing up in a sense, if you want to say that, because I mean, Phase 1 popping up this year, and then obviously Duke City is getting these little arena shows now, so it's just like it's really awesome to see, and I think just being able to contribute in any way to that is honestly just a pretty big honor.
And the same way I said it to Baker, like a lot of our established roster for like P1P and now Duke City are Arizona guys. You know, how does it feel that you are established in 2 states? And like, I mean, like you are a fan favorite. People like when you come out, regardless whether they're booing or cheering, you know, people still talk to you at intermission and after the show and all that. So how does that feel that you are a face of 2 different states?
It's super honoring, I would say, just because it just shows that all the work I'm putting in. I kind of said this earlier when you asked me a similar question, but it just shows that all the work I'm putting in is paying off, and it's just not falling on deaf ears. So I'm just glad that it's being received well.
What is your at least like what's a bigger fear for you going into 2025?
I think just not tapping into the potential that a lot of people around me say I have. I think just kind of like coasting on all the praise I'm getting early on in my career and just like getting all of it too soon, basically. I just want to like be able to keep my nose to the grindstone and stay tapped in with everything. I don't want to start coasting this early, because if I'm already started coasting, what am I doing?
Staying away from complacency. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%, because that's the biggest fear, and I feel like that's what a lot of people do have, is because they have these guaranteed bookings here, here, or here. They're like, I mean, I'm doing something right. I'm like, yeah, but wrestling's is always evolving. Like every day, there's always something new, or always somebody else is being discovered that you didn't know about even yesterday, 12 hours ago. So it's a ever growing business. And on the business side of this, realistically, and I like asking this more to wrestlers than to MMA fighters, how long do you see yourself doing this, brother?
This is the career goal. So, I mean, until I can't do it anymore, really. I mean, my first tryout at Dom's school, we were running around the ring, and they asked every single person, what's the reason you're here? Why do you want to be here? And the first thing that came out of my mouth, ironically, was, I want to make money. And, we see where we are now. But obviously, I just think that long term, this is the career goal, and this is all I want to do. So there really isn't a plan B or anything like that.
I like asking that because, some guys will be like, I'll do it till I'm 60. And then we see people like Jericho just constantly keep getting shit on for doing this until he's almost fucking 60. So it is a weird way where now that we're all getting older, we have to think about like what are the main goals. And one thing that I've really been taking into account with any kind of entertainment business or anything in general is like you have such a small window to make as much money as possible before that window is just shut and it's not going to be the same anymore. And it's going to be interesting asking, that's going to be the newer question that's going to be asked for a lot of these wrestlers is like, how long do you want to do this? How far are you, wanting to go with this? realistically compared to, you know, some people who just think that they were dealt a shitty hand, so they're deserved shit, and then they're like, yeah, no matter what, I'm gonna be fucking world champion. I'm like, dog, you're fucking 4 or 5. Like, you're not gonna be fucking world champion, dude. There's no fucking way WWE is gonna put you on the fucking face. I'm not wrong though. Like, we've all met those people. We have all met those people.
I'm not saying any names.
You don't have to. We've all met those people, and we're like, dog. But I think, like, as long as you keep going, brother, as long as you just, you know, you've kind of built like a good support system around you. You have the great, like, just the right idea of what you need to accomplish, man. I'm excited. And one thing that, like, a core memory, at least with my interactions with you, is when we're at the Rio Rancho show and you have the chain on, you have the glasses, you have your vest, and Saleh comes up to you and he's like, man, you're just fucking money. And my first thought is, why the fuck are you whispering? We're backstage. But I'm like, he's not wrong. You're, you know, he isn't wrong. And, like, you know, that's somebody who wants to have a match with you. And it's going to be interesting seeing, like, the more names that just want to have a match with you, dude. It's going to be exciting, especially this year. All I'm going to say is I expect, like, every day of Mania week, except for, like, the 2 actual days of Mania, just, you got to be booked, brother. Like, I don't care how, bro. Like, you got to be booked, dude. 2 shows a day. I don't know if that's possible, but 2 shows a day.
I'm going to figure it out just for you. I'm going to get booked 2 times a day. Mania.
Bro, if you could, I mean, honestly, dude, if you could get on, like, the GCW collective, dude, like, that's your thing right there, brother.
I don't know. I'm going to do my best.
Don't you put your hands up like it's already happened. Don't you give me that hope.
I'm not doing nothing. I'm just going to drink my Dunkin'.
The Kermit meme right there. Oh. So you played football in college, man. What were you, like a fucking fullback or what?
I played inside linebacker, actually. I was a little undersized to be on defense, but, you know, we worked hard out there. So, you know, we got it done.
I was gonna say, dude, respectfully, like, you're shorter than me, and I'm short as fuck, bro. Like, when you said linebacker, I was expecting like fullback, halfback, something. That's what I was expecting.
Well, you know, I could play anywhere, but, you know, they needed me at one spot, so.
Fucking slot receiver, like, I got you. You could be a Cole Beasley, my guy.
I do anything.
So what made you, like, what? I mean, realistically, like, you said you're a fan of Mr. Perfect. Like, what was that just moment when you were like, yeah, I'm gonna try this?
You know, I've been watching wrestling. This is like the cliche answer, but I've been watching wrestling ever since I was little. I remember my mom bought it was WrestleMania 26 on DVD for me for Christmas, and that was like the first wrestling thing I watched. That was the first wrestling thing I ever watched, because what was I, 5 or 6? I was born in 2003, so yeah. I was really young. That was my first wrestling thing I ever watched, and ever since then I was hooked on it. You know, I was just watching Raw every single Monday, and then WrestleMania 28 was the first one I saved up all year to buy with my own money, with like chore money and stuff like that. Because, you know, I was a big John Cena guy. I'm not gonna lie, big John Cena guy. But yeah, I've just been watching it ever since I was little, and then I got to college playing football, which was a huge goal for me. I kind of fell off of wrestling a little bit, watching it wise, around 2019-ish. But, you know, getting in college, playing football was a huge goal. And after a couple of years there, I was like, I don't really love football anymore. And if you don't love football, you shouldn't be playing football, because it hurts and it's just not good for you. So, you know, I dropped out, and I was like, I mean, what am I going to do? And I looked up pro wrestling training schools in the area. So I was like, you know what? I've been watching this all my life. I might as well give it a shot. Thank the Lord I picked a good school to go to, and, you know, just shot off from there.
I'm so fucking pissed right now. I forgot how fucking young you are, son of a bitch.
Yeah, you're pissed off.
Fuck.
How do you think I feel?
He said 2003. I'm like, what? Oh my god. Yeah. Could you hold yourself? Like, I wasn't gonna lie. If we could have had this whole conversation and never talk about the year you were born, fucker. Like I would be like, oh yeah, no, he's like he has to be our age. Like he has to be close to our age. Like just the way he carries himself and the way he talks and just his presence. And then you said 2003 and I'm like, dude, holy shit, bro. When you're 21, what the fuck was I doing when I was 21? I don't even remember because a lot of it I was drunk. Fuck, bro.
That's fair.
What the
Yeah.
Oh my.
True.
Oh my god, my god. Like, no, that's awesome though. And it's not like a cliche because we've had people who got into wrestling and never watched WWE. And one of them's like Ericademia. She never watched
Really?
WWE. She never watched TNA. Her dad was an indie wrestler and she only knew indie wrestling from like her scene in Carolina. And now look, like she's been on Ring of Honor. She's going all over the place. So it's cliche, but it's not because it's still interesting, like how people get into it. Because like me and Chris, like we would like religiously watch it, and you got started off from like a gift. So,
Yeah.
and then you have like people like Brittany Brooks, who's doing little jobs as a kid just to get all the t-shirts and be able to go to the indie events and do all this stuff. So it's cool seeing the different walks of life that got you here. And then, you falling out of love of football. Could that be because you saw like, this is where I'm just going to go? Like that's an interesting way too, to fall out of love of something that you've played your entire life and then take some time away from it. Like where was your mentality towards that?
So it was the end of my sophomore year. Yeah, sophomore year playing football in college, and I was like, man, I'm tired of getting up at 5:30 in the morning to go to these team meetings. I'm tired of going to these workouts after these meetings, then going to class after those workouts, then going to more meetings after those classes. And then it was just, college was definitely a lot tougher on the body because there was just so many more practices and stuff like that. And I ended up getting a concussion at the end of my sophomore year, and I was like, you know what, I'm probably good for right now. So I decided to take a break, and then I ultimately stepped away from it.
I love that. I love that you're like, man, I'm tired of getting up at 5:30 for workouts. Fuck it. I'm going to drive from Pheonix to Albuquerque and back in less than 24 fucking hours.
You know what? It is still more enjoyable than getting up for those meetings, so I will take it.
Yeah, no, turning and burning is fun unless you got to do like a crazy ass drive. But yeah, okay. I can respect that, dude. I thought it was going to be like some wild ass story. You're like,
no,
it was the last play of the championship game and I miss the block.
I missed the play. Yeah.
And I took the play off and I knew I shouldn't have. I thought it was going to be something like that where we could turn it into a movie. Instead, it was just like, nah, fuck these meetings, bro.
That would have been a lot better for the podcast. So I'm sorry, but
we're just going to lie and pretend it was. That's it. That's all we're going to do.
That's fine. Yeah.
That's, you know what? That's cool, man. At least you got to that level too, because what are they? D2 school?
We're in NAIA. We play some D2s, stuff like that. I say we like I'm still there, but I still rep every day.
JUCO. So okay, that's great, man, that you at least got to make it to that far. What did your family think when you first told them like, yeah, I'm just pursuing this, like there's no stopping me at this point?
It's funny because I told you guys that my mom was the one who got me the WrestleMania DVD that kind of put me on to wrestling in the first place. And I went to her house and I was like, I kind of dropped it really casually. I'm like, yeah, I'm dropping out. I'm going to go wrestle. And she was like, it was like a movie. She like dropped her glass almost. It was really funny. But she has adjusted. I think the reaction was the same from most people in my life. It was kind of like, oh, okay, he's going to go do this wrestling thing. Because, people don't get it. If you get it, you get it. But if you don't, you don't, And I think once everyone saw me on TV with AEW, that was kind of a moment for everybody where they're like, oh, okay, it's not just like a little hobby he's doing. It's like something he's pursuing seriously. So
in the back of his mind, it's like vindication. all the vindication.
I told you.
Like that's the cool part, especially this show, and learning like from all combat sports, everything that involves, just combat in general. is like, no matter where you are, whether it be wrestling, jiu-jitsu, MMA, Muay Thai, like people are still going to look and they're going to be like, why are you doing that? Okay, you want to try it. That's cool. And then you have these people who are reaching success and they're like, oh yeah, no, dude. Like I've always cheered you on. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude.
No
we just had one guy on who, he just had his first loss at Fury fighting championships. He just had his first loss in like a year, and he was like, yeah, my phone went dry, it went cold. And for like wrestlers, I wonder what the equivalent to that would be, where people see what kind of failure would somebody see as a wrestler where their phone would go cold.
I think maybe getting released, I would assume, would be kind of like an equivalency for that. Maybe if you're signing, you get released. Because, I mean, I lose all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, people aren't like, oh, they just don't stop texting me. You know, I get the messages like good match, great match, whatever it is. So, you know, I think it is a little bit different in wrestling and combat sports, because combat sports is like if you win, you get a bigger purse and stuff like that, you know? So it's like you lose, it's like no one wants to talk to you. You don't got nothing to offer me.
And like it's funny that you say like, oh man, you know, when people get released, because like, and I'll call myself out, is like when somebody gets released from the WWE, my like ears perk up and I'm like, all right, cool. I need to find their personal email address. I need to find their business email address. How are they going to spend some downtime in the ring? Like that's my thing. It's like, I want to pick their brain more because they got released, and I want to see like just, you know, how they are. And like it was cool like when we got to meet like Matt Riddle, because I was like, all right, cool, you know, he can come off like a dick to some people and he's still a pretty chill guy. And a lot of people think like, well, they have to have something that made them release, or it's just like Baron Corbin, who just recently got released.
I'm
just
pretty
had
sure
nothing for him.
I'm pretty sure Matt Riddle had something that made him release, and it was determined at that airport. So that's
other than the sniffy stuff that
Unreal.
Oh yeah, no, we have fun here. We have fun here in downtown, brother. So your traveling partner, your partner's Amaya, dude. She's fucking insane, bro. It's fun watching her fucking wrestle. I want to give her a little praise right now, dude.
She's the GOAT, bro.
Fuck, bro.
I tell her that every day.
She really is though, man. And like, you know, how does it feel? So she's walked out with you to two shows. You know, how does it feel when you're able to just watch her match live? Like what goes through your head through everything that she goes through in that ring? Like with the like her match versus like Gypsy Mac at the final show for P1P this year.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, just watching her work is, I'll put her over. I'll say it's a privilege. It's a privilege to watch her wrestle, because I mean, she's just so unique, and especially just from a lot of the talent that's out there right now in the indies, female wise, she's just so unique and brings her own thing. And we kind of have a joke at the school. We all call her Superstar, because she kind of set the bar for all of us, really, in terms of stuff she's done. She just got in Pheonix magazine for Pheonix 48. She was in the PWI list, obviously. So, you know, she's just really is setting the bar for us, which I think is so cool just as a woman, because obviously women's wrestling kind of gets a bad rap a little bit online, unfortunately. She's setting the bar for all of us at the school, dudes or girls. So I mean, I think it's really cool, and just getting to watch her is awesome.
And then like for you, at least for both of y'all, like iron sharpens iron, because you've probably accomplished a lot more than what you originally thought, and it's because you have somebody who's good at your side that's probably cheering you on and, you know, holding you accountable to certain things. Or am I wrong?
No, you're right. She definitely holds me accountable and to a higher standard. I mean, like, we go to the gym every day and we just push each other all the time, and especially at practice too, whether we're leading a class or we're part of the class and we're learning, we always just kind of just always healthy competition, even at home. So, you know, it's great.
And like, you know, it's always interesting to see like the Arizona guys when they travel out here, because you guys all hold yourselves to a higher standard. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be like, man, fuck those guys and their washboard abs.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, I was like that. I was like, man, fuck these guys. It's all good. And now gotten to talk to each of y'all, I'm like, man, y'all are great people. Still fuck y'all, but still, it's all good. It's fine. It's great here. We love it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great time, especially being friends with you guys and just seeing where you guys go into 2025. I'm just more excited now that we're heading into the new year, and the new year is just going to bring so many opportunities for you guys overall. Just y'all's brands are going to skyrocket, and it seems like the drive because of Dom just makes you guys I can't wait to see if you do have a dark match at like TNA, or if you do have a dark match at I was going to say Ring of Honor, but yeah, Ring of Honor. Like if you have dark matches there, or you have a televised match, or you have anything like that, we're going to be more excited because we're like, holy fuck, he did it again. Like, what the fuck? So it's going to be great to see that. And I know a lot of people are like, don't speak that into the universe. I'm the kind of guy that does, because that's what I believe in, is if you speak it in, it's going to happen. It just may not happen like tomorrow, which tomorrow's Raw anyway, so it wouldn't have happened. But you kind of get what I mean.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, I woke up this morning and I said, I'm going to have a great interview with Downtime in the Ring. So, and then that happened. So, always talking it into existence. So,
bro, you're always going to have a great interview here. It might be off the rails, but you're always going to have a great time here. Hopefully everybody has a great time here. I don't fucking know. As we begin to wind down, like, what are all your socials, man?
Twitter, I'm Jaden_Monroe_. Same thing on Instagram, and then TikTok, Jaden Monroe_, and that's pretty much it. That's all I got, really.
Okay. For everybody who didn't get that, just do some combination of an underscore and Jaden Monroe, and you will fucking find him.
If you take the money bag emoji and just put it in the search bar, I will pop up. I promise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So somebody who's probably in your situation, and I've done this with the fighters, I'm going to do this with you. Somebody who's probably in your situation that's falling out of love of like their sport, and wanting to pursue this, like, what would you say? Because that's like a whole weird, like, to most people that'd be like, oh, well, that's a very unique situation. There's 8 billion people on this fucking planet. That's probably not as unique as we think.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to somebody who's falling out of something they love and want to pursue something new?
Just do it. I mean, you only live once, as like cliche as that is. I mean, if I didn't drop out and pursue wrestling and just like kind of on a whim, like on an impulse almost, I wouldn't be here doing this or any of the things that I've done in the past year and a half or so. So it's really just like, be confident that you're done with what you want to leave, but at the same time, you just kind of take that leap, and whatever happens.
I agree. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was a great conversation with Jaden Money Monroe. We'll see. We're bound to see him again, so he'll be in a vlog or something, but he'll have his sunglasses on, even though it's fucking dark in the building. And I'm gonna point the fuck out of that. And we will see each and every one of you in the next video.